afternoon, everyone, if you're watching this in the afternoon. This is just some excerpts and the message from our morning service today at Pohutukawa Coast Presbyterian.
It's a great weekend for Labour Weekend. A lot of people out and about enjoying this beautiful weather. We hope you're enjoying it wherever you are. And just to those of you who might not have been at church at Raitai this morning or from the congregation, a reminder that you have an invitation to our place next Saturday morning at 10:30 for Devonshire tea. You don't have to bring anything, it'll be provided. But we would like you to let us know if you're coming so we know how many cups to get out. You'll find our contact details on the Friday information that Lynn sent out last Friday. So I hope you can make it.
It should be a good day. So here's Heather with the readings for today.
The first reading today is from Judges chapter 6, verses 11 to 15. Then the Lord's angel came to the village of Ophrah and sat under the oak tree that belonged to Joash, a man of the clan of Abiezer. His son Gideon was threshing some wheat secretly in a winepress so that the Midianites would not see him. The Lord's angel appeared to him there and said, "The Lord is with you, brave and mighty man." Gideon said to him, "If I may ask, sir, why has all this happened to us if the Lord is with us? What happened to all the wonderful things that our fathers told us the Lord used to do, how he brought them out of Egypt? The Lord has abandoned us and left us to the mercy of the Midianites." Then the Lord ordered him, "Go with all your great strength and rescue Israel from the Midianites. I myself am sending you." Gideon replied, "But Lord, how can I rescue Israel? My clan is the weakest in the tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least important member of my family." And then from Matthew chapter 5, verses 13 to 16. "You are like salt for the whole human race, but if salt loses its saltiness, there is no way to make it salty again. It has become worthless, so it is thrown out and people trample on it. You are like light for the whole world. A city built on a hill cannot be hid. No one lights a lamp and puts it under a bowl. Instead, it is put on the lampstand where it gives light for everyone in the house. In the same way, your light must shine before people, so that they will see the good things you do and praise your Father in heaven." Thanks be to God for his word. Amen.
In the darkness, we were waiting, without hope, without light, till from heaven you came running. There was mercy in your eyes to fulfill the law and promise. till that stone was moved for good. For the Lamb had conquered death, and the dead rose from their tombs, and the angels stood in awe for the souls of all who'd come to the Father are restored. And the Church of Christ was born, then the Spirit lit the flame. Now this gospel truth of old shall not kneel, shall not faint. By his blood and in his name, in his freedom I am free. For the love of Jesus Christ, who has resurrected me. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Praise forever to the King of Kings.
May the words of my mouth and the thoughts of our hearts be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our strength and our Redeemer. Amen. So next week I'm inviting us to come up with some God-given ideas or visions for the future. So exciting. Yes? Well, sure. And of course, if you have the dreams, the vision, be prepared to lead us into the future. There's not one person here that in the strength of the Lord, filled with the Spirit, cannot lead. We need visionaries. We need those who have decided to follow Jesus. No turning back. No turning back. So if you have a dream and you're anxious, maybe over the next couple of weeks, I'll look at the kind of people that God calls and about getting it right and honoring God and at the same time being at peace within yourselves. So today, it's a very complicated outline. If you're taking notes, which nobody is, but it's a very complicated outline. 1, Gideon. 2, God. 3, coffee and sausages. So Gideon. Israel is under foreign occupation, and Gideon, of course, is anxious as you would be. We read that he is threshing wheat in a wine press. You thresh wheat outdoors where the wind blows the chaff away, but Gideon is engaged in trying to make it happen where he can't be seen, and so it's an impossible task for him. And we can understand that, right? If the Midianites, the occupiers, see him, they take the wheat. So obviously he is kind of anxious, but I guess a whole lot of other things are going on in his mind, like where is God? How come we're in this situation? And no doubt the pressing question, why doesn't somebody do something about this? I have no doubt about Gideon feeling that way. Have you ever asked yourself the question, why isn't somebody doing something? Yeah, of course we have. I think that every time dinner is late, why isn't my wife doing something about this? Then the fight started. Who is going to make it happen? There must be someone clever enough, strong enough, rich enough, someone with the right connections to get this whole thing moving, free us from what holds us captive. So Gideon is frightened. We may assume he's locked in a kind of analysis paralysis. We've been there? In analysis paralysis? One person's going, yeah. It's a woman and she's honest. Analysis paralysis. There's something you want to do and you spend so much time analyzing the situation that you never move. Right? Good. Some of you, others are going, yeah, that's never happened to me. I have to replace a fence at home because if I don't, it will fall down. If it falls down, the sheep will get into the garden and the dog will get out. Okay? So I've got to do this. I've been analyzing the situation for a couple of months, and the more I analyze it, the more despondent I become. I actually measured it 3 times, forgotten the measurements, have to measure it again. The more I analyze it, the more despondent I become. That's why you're all coming around for morning tea next. Armed with axes, rakes, chainsaws, and implements of destruction. And the least likely I am to move. My analysis has caused me paralysis. You've been there. Yeah. We say it's like I don't know if you have this expression in South Africa. We have this expression in New Zealand like a possum trapped in headlights. Okay, the possum just sits there going, everything gets too much, and you don't know where to move, and you freeze. On a more serious level, sometimes it can be fatal in people's lives, and it can end up in dire consequences. If you find yourself there and you're frozen, talk to somebody. Don't let it build up within you. Get help. So there's Gideon, and he's in a stew. He's trying to thresh wheat in a wine press. This is funny. Anyone reading it or hearing that story 500 years before Christ is going to laugh. It is a funny scene. It's funny. It's not to be read in solemn tones like the King James Bible. It's a joke. Did you hear about Gideon threshing wheat in a wine press? You idiot. It's funny. The writer is emphasizing the silliness of it. So that's Gideon. The other character in the scene is the major, and that is God. Again, what is said about God is not to be read in sonorous tones. Now, a little aside here, we'll go on a little journey. When we see the term the Lord's angel in capital letters, capital L-O-R-D, the writer is using the term to refer to God. Okay? The Lord's angel. He would never say the Lord was here or God was here because he's too reverent. So, good Jewish people will not use the word God or Lord, but rather the angel of the Lord or the angel of the presence. That's an interesting aside. How was that? So, how does the writer introduce God? The Lord's angel came to the village of Ophrah and sat under the oak tree that belonged to Joash, a man of the clan of Abiezer. What oak tree? The oak tree. Oh, that oak tree. The one in Joash's backyard. God is sitting under it. That's meant to be funny. It's not a serious thing. When God turns up, he's sitting under the oak tree. It's not a deep theological statement, yet at the same time it can be. But it's an odd picture. And if you're hearing it again for the first time, you would laugh. The Lord of the universe, clothed in majesty and glory, has turned up in Ophrah. Really? Where is he? Which hotel is he in? Under the oak tree in Joash's backyard. Chilling. Sitting there. That's funny. The country is overrun with invaders. Everyone is trying to contend with the Midianite virus. Everything is in an uproar. People are losing their jobs. Everything's falling apart. Everyone is afraid, and all the usual stuff has been affected. Overseas travel's off. Can't get pilots. And we've lost jobs. And we can't even thresh wheat in public. And in the midst of our panic, God is chilling out under an oak tree. Really? Really? We're panicking, and God is just chilled. And I wonder, though, does it convey some other thoughts, like maybe, be still. In the middle of your panic, be still, know that I am God. Chill. And at the same time, it is a ridiculous and difficult time, and Gideon will take this up with God. That's next week. But to me, it conveys very strongly a contrast between my fears and God's steadfast love. My panic and God's calm. You see the contrast between the two? Gideon is frightened, he's hiding, he's anxious, and God is there. And it's okay. Got this worked out. I've got it planned. Gideon, don't panic. I'm here. You may not like what you're going to hear, but I am here. And I think we all need to realize that at times. What we really need to do is to realize that in my panic, God is there. God is calm. It has nothing to do with my fence. That's just offensive. I've just got to do it. But God is there, especially those times when we're caught in analysis paralysis and we're caught in the headlights of this oncoming disaster and we can't move. But you see, as a people, as families, as a church, beset by all kinds of what ifs, and what will we do now, and how will this turn out, and analysis paralysis is not an option. Nor is it an option to thresh wheat in a winepress where I'm hidden. And I'm not asked to give something up or to stand up and be counted. Gideon doesn't want to be seen. I just want to hide. You see, because the world, the community needs what I have to give and what you have to give. And to do that, we need to know where we are going because people depend on us. And we need to know that in all our panic times and our fears, there is one among us who is not panicking, who's not buying into our stress or distress, and that is God. Present, laid back, chilling under the oak tree in the backyard, waiting for us to come to our senses, cast the vision, be open to God-given dreams, and be sure where we are going. One of my great heroes is Dietrich Bonhoeffer, and you've heard me speak of Bonhoeffer. He's a confessing Christian during the Third Reich in Germany, and he's arrested by the Gestapo, and the Gestapo want him dead. And in the end, Bonhoeffer, just before the end of the war, is executed. He's hung. But he goes to the gallows knowing that God is there with him. And his last comments to his friends are, in one sense, it's the end, but in the other, it's just the beginning. God is here. I do not have to panic. We are not a drifting church. We can't be. And your families can't be just drifting families of people saying somebody must do something. The government must sort this out. This group of people must sort this out for me. This person must sort this out for me. We're not a drifting people. People saying somebody must do something. We are the people of God. The God who says, be still. Know that I am God. It will be okay. I will make a way for you. Now, I just came across this story. I think it's one of those apocryphal stories. People, it's the kind of like people make them up, and urban legends, urban myths, things like that. But it's a story about Albert Einstein. He's traveling on a train from Princeton, and a conductor comes down the aisle punching tickets. When the conductor arrived at where Einstein was seated, the great physicist reached into his vest pocket, but he couldn't find his ticket. So he reached into the other pockets, still couldn't find the ticket. The conductor said, "Dr. Einstein, it's okay. I know who you are. It's okay." And as if not hearing these words, Einstein continued searching for the missing ticket. As he opened his briefcase to look inside, the conductor said again, "Dr. Einstein, we all know who you are. I'm sure you bought a ticket. Please don't worry about it." Einstein apparently nodded appreciatively. The conductor continued down the aisle, punching tickets, but he couldn't help but look back, and he could see the scientist down on his hands and knees, looking under his seat for the missing ticket. Rushing back to him, the conductor said, Please, Dr. Einstein, please do not worry. I'm sure you bought a ticket. We know who you are, and really, it is not a problem." Apparently, Einstein stood up, looked at the conductor in the eye, and replied, "Young man, I too know who I am. What I do not know is where I'm going." Einstein wanted to find his ticket so he could remind himself where he was headed. So may you and I, in the grace of God and in his peace, truly know where we are headed today, if we will hear his voice. The best is yet to be. Now to God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Spirit be ascribed all the honor and all the glory, world without end. Amen.
Take my life and let it be consecrated, Lord, to thee. Take my moments and my days, let them flow in ceaseless praise. Take my hands and let them move at the impulse of thy love. Take my feet and let them be swift and beautiful for thee. Take my voice and let me sing, always only for my King. Take my lips and let them be filled with messages from thee. Take my silver and my gold, not a Savior, take